Hi, this is Chris Howard, host of Plugged In with Chris Howard. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action. BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being played. With the largest selection of odds on everything from Major League Baseball, NHL, and UFC, and professional golf, BetOnline remains the number one source for all your sports wagering info. In between games, head over to the BetOnline's casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. BetOnline, the game starts here.
If you're looking to streamline your audio advertising buys and maximize your revenue, look no further than Triton Digital's programmatic audio advertising exchange, A2X. The private exchange consists of only licensed broadcasters and top-tier internet radio publishers, assuring the quality inventory and brand safety you can trust. Visit www.tritondigital.com to learn more.
In the golden light of a crisp autumn afternoon, it only feels natural to indulge in life's simple pleasures, gathering with loved ones, sharing warm memories, and enjoying a snack. One treat particularly welcome on a chilly day is warm toast, slathered with rich, creamy butter and topped with juicy fruit jam, evoking the same joy that Paddington Bear feels when he discovers a jar of orange marmalade, or the sweetness of honey that makes Winnie the Pooh's heart sing. But not just any jam. This is the jam of a brand that has devoured its competition, swallowing rivals whole, leaving only echoes of their names. A company that bulldozes across sectors, relentless in its pursuit of dominance in multiple markets. A jam where every bite draws you deeper into the clutches of the conglomerate that looms over your pantry, waiting to ensnare you into its sugary web. A jam that can also come in the same jar as peanut butter. A jam that is probably the jam you think of when I say the word jam. And that's why this week's On Brand is on Smuckers.
We're all jazzed up, really having a cow. You want your favorite show and it's on right now. It's on brand.
Welcome to On Brand with Jon and Marisa. I'm Jon.
I'm Marisa.
Okay. So jam. Mm-hmm. You know what I was thinking about, which is so fun? Like, for 60 seconds, or a minute and a half, whenever you're reading your cold open, I'm the only person on earth that doesn't know what this show is about. Everyone that's clicked on it knows what it is. Alistair knows what it is. I am a lone man on an island trying to figure it out. And I will say with this one, as soon as you said jam, I was like, must be Smuckers, right? Maybe.
I see you as a lone man on an island a lot, thought-wise.
Yeah, I would agree. I think everyone. Let's address the
elephant in the room. Toilet
paper over or under. According to our survey, I'm the only one that does it under, and 700 people do it over.
Sure. Do you feel isolated and alienated in your opinion?
No, I feel advanced and appropriate.
Great. And you also, it's you and people who have cats, apparently.
And it's like people that are like, it's like, if I do it under, I'm gonna knock paint off the wall. Like, everyone's like reasoning was so crazy. It's like not that hard to just be like doot doot doot, and then you go about your day.
I spent like 25 seconds clawing, pawing, shredding a roll of toilet paper trying to get an under piece the other day, and I was just like, wow, if Jon could see me now sitting on the toilet livid, fuming.
That doesn't surprise me. Oh, speaking of seeing you sitting on the toilet, the poster you made for that episode, the body you put me on, why am I wearing shorts sitting on the toilet?
You know, it's from Tushy.com. What do you want me to say?
It makes no sense.
You think I should have shown your bare ass?
Yes.
That's a photo shoot.
You're showing more skin in yours. I know what you're trying to do with the fans. You're trying to get everyone all into you.
No. I was just trying to find a suitable male model.
Well, I did appreciate the physique.
Have you checked your message in the portal from your nutritionist yet?
Okay, so here's the deal with here's the current situation with the nutritionist.
Okay.
I didn't have a scheduled follow-up appointment.
Okay.
So I got a call like 2 weeks ago from the nutritionist, like booker. She's like, hey, are you free? The nutritionist can see you right now. And I was like,
You're like chomping on a ho-ho.
I'm like double fisting hot dogs, like eating Cinnabon frosting out
You
of the
did
tub.
say you were going to race to Vaughn's to buy a special new Mountain Dew after this.
No, I didn't say I was going to buy it. I said I was going to get a free Mountain Dew, and the coupon expires tonight. We're going to finish recording about 10 o'clock tonight, and they close at 11. And yeah, I'm going to stop over there and get my free Voodoo Mountain Dew. Don't tell the nutritionist. But anyway, I was like, I didn't want to take the appointment. I was like, I'm not in the mood. I need to prep for this. I need to like get my lies in order. And she's like, okay, well, let me see. Okay, well, let's get you in the book. She's like, okay. The next available appointment she has is in December.
Oh.
I was like, so I can either see her right this moment when you're like, go now, or at Christmas.
Let's just say at Christmas, the daily diet ain't going to be any better. It's ham. It's cookies.
I do like to
pie.
get any doctor's appointments in pre-holiday. I don't
Yes.
want to do them like right after the holidays.
I mean, December feels like a dangerously holiday.
Yeah, I do think I have one in the books for December. So hopefully.
Did the woman on the phone ask you if you forgot your password, if you need help logging on, or if you're able to access?
She's like, why are you not available now? Are you actually busy? It's only like a 5-minute call. In my head, I was like, what's the point? But I didn't tell her that.
Sure, what's the point?
What's the point? So jam. As I brought up on the pod, I think probably in the last month, I have a jelly jam and honey advent calendar for the 2024 year, I think.
Yes.
Which I
You're
think,
9 months in. What should have taken 1 month?
yeah. I think actually, are you supposed to eat I feel like that one's supposed to last longer, maybe.
How long did it last out?
Like you can't eat a jam a day.
I think Al ate close to a jam a day.
No.
Every 2 days.
Every 2 days a jam.
Okay, every 2 days
so
a
2 months.
jam.
I've only eaten 2 jams. I think all my jams are expired. And what's funny, I saw on Facebook today, someone was giving away, they're like, I have like 11 tiny jars of jam. I was like, they have the advent calendar too.
For sure.
They're like, they're all expired, but you can clean them out and just use them in the little jars if you want. I mean, jam is not something I'm too concerned if it's a little expired or best by date.
Yeah, any kind of canned product. I'm surprised that wouldn't make it to a full calendar year. Those little jars are so cute.
They are really cute. They would
What
be
could you put in those? Baby teeth?
baby teeth, adult teeth.
Uh-huh. Dog teeth?
I was going to say pet teeth. Uh-huh. Definitely a tooth.
They should put that on the box.
Perfect for holding teeth when you're finished with your luscious jam. So what made you pick jam? So we all know, of course, the Today Show Smuckers. Oh, I'm sure you're going to get into that. I won't step on that.
No, we can talk about it.
No, save it. Why jam, though? Do you have like a big connection with jam?
Well, I do love jam. And to me, jam, and specifically the jam that we're going to talk about when we get into the episode, it's very evocative of this time of year, which is a very cozy time. Wouldn't you call fall a cozy time? Can I go out on a limb and call it a cozy time?
Cozy for fall. Groundbreaking. Yeah, I think you could say fall is cozy.
I think I can go out on a limb and say that.
The weather gets a little cold. Now, do you think jam... See, now I feel like jam is more of a spring summer thing. Like for me, fall would be like a butter, like an apple butter, a pumpkin butter.
Well, I mean, not to spoil it, but apple butter does play a big role in the Smucker story.
Oh, good.
So you're get titillated.
I used to love apple butter as a kid.
Used to.
What
apple butter ever do to you?
I mean, it's just something I don't ever buy. I don't even know where, like, can you just go buy apple butter? Like, is it in the jam section?
You're allowed to buy apple butter.
No, I know that, but like, is it readily available?
John, I have apple butter for you to try.
Did you know
today.
that that's my favorite?
I didn't know that.
Oh,
but
my.
it is the hallmark Smucker product. It was the first preserve they ever sold, and we are going to be trying some tonight.
That is exciting.
So when you go for jam or jelly, do you have a preference, jam or jelly? And do you know the difference?
I think I know the difference between jelly and I don't know if jam and preserves are the same thing. Are jam and preserves the same thing?
They're more similar. So jelly is strained fruit juice, doesn't have any chunks. And I know you're anti-chunk, so I would assume that you're a jelly boy.
No way. I find jelly trashy.
Oh.
I love a preserve. My go-to is Trader Joe's fresh strawberry preserves. It's just the best.
So good. Yeah, I love the Trader Joe's preserves line. They're fantastic. Jam is made with mashed fruit, so like small pieces of fruit. You're going to get some seeds in there. And then preserves have whole fruit or larger pieces of fruit. So that's the distinction there.
Fruit, of course, is just you have a whole piece of fruit. There'll be seeds
like
in
a banana or something.
Or
yeah.
strawberry.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think I know the steps.
When you were a kid, this is interesting. This is really interesting because I really do like jam, but I have maybe in my life only had maybe one peanut butter and jelly sandwich. What? Something about peanut butter and jelly. It just has never tickled me. I like butter and jam or even like cream cheese and jam, but peanut butter and jelly, I mean, I make it for my children, but it's never anything that I have ever reached for.
You just lost half of your fan base. I would say peanut butter and jelly is one of those things that, it's a rotation with me. It's like cereal. I will get a taste for it, and then I'll have it for like 2 weeks.
Wow.
But man, like a soft white bread, a great peanut. I usually use Trader Joe's again. I feel like this is a commercial for Trader Joe's, but I do prefer with my peanut butter a non-processed peanut butter. Like it's just crushed nuts and oily, and you mix it up.
Crushed nuts. That's up your alley. Extra chunky.
Come on, finish it out.
No, that's it.
That was it. Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
So I like that, like really runny peanut butter, the kind you could almost drink it. And then like those strawberry preserves, man, it is so good. Definitely more jam forward than peanut butter, I think, though.
Oh, so like mostly jam and then a touch of peanut butter. That's interesting. Yeah, I would do a sandwich with peanut butter. I would put honey on it typically. That was my go-to. So jam for me, it has nothing to do with sandwiches. We'll talk about it a little bit later, but goober. Does the word goober stir anything in your loins?
Goober to me, it was always like a novelty. Even as a kid, like I felt like I knew as a kid, it was like low rent peanut butter, low rent jam. They figured out a thing that was going to make most kids want it. I wasn't one of those kids. I also didn't want like weird flavored toothpaste. Like I kind of just, it wasn't my jam. But I mean, yeah, it feels very 80s to me. It feels nostalgic of that time. I know that I'm almost positive they still make it, but
John, I have news for you.
Oh no, don't make me eat goobers.
We are trying goober tonight.
Oh no, what? I'm going to find out I'm a Hunts boy and a goober guy. Good Lord. I'm like, I'll never eat goobers. Cut to me over there getting my free Mountain Dew and buying the biggest jar of goober.
An armful of goober.
It was also the name goober.
I thought it was an 80s or 90s product. Goober started in the 60s, which was shocking to me because I feel like it kind of came on my radar around the same time that Heinz was doing like green and purple ketchup.
No.
And for some reason, like that food that was just like so boldly like marketed to kids. I don't know. I just kind of my rebellious streak kind of shone.
50s and 60s were very kid forward with food invention.
Definitely.
Speaking of peanut butter, and I was saying how I only eat like natural peanut butter, and I have done that for years. And then a while ago, actually quite a while ago, I was at a friend's house and they had like Skippy or Jif or one of those, and I ate like a spoonful of that. It was like, I felt like Bart Simpson when he had like a concentrated slushie. Like it felt like frosting.
Yes.
I could not believe like how, like it was good, but it was like so sweet.
It's like whipped and sweet. And yeah, once in a while, if I like, if my in-laws are in town and we're getting them like stuff for their Airbnb, we'll get like a jar of Skippy or something, and then we'll take the leftovers and you eat it and you're like, you could frost a cake with this. It's so good.
Yeah. And maybe that's what you had when you had your one peanut butter and jelly. Maybe it was too sweet on sweet. If you try it with the Trader Joe's one, it's gonna cut that back a little bit.
I'm down to try. I'm ready to try.
I will say, if I'm at a hotel that has a continental breakfast and they have, I mean, those little hockey puck sizes of free Jif or Skippy, the little jams, I'm going home. My carry-on is like 10 pounds heavier.
Let's just say you're going to have to slip a little money to the curbside guy.
And it's like a whole process. Like, I'm like, oh, those are fun. I'll have one of each of these. I'll do that like 9 times.
Are you talking about, it's like a packet, like a circular packet of peanut butter? It's like Skippy and you peel off the top and it's peanut butter.
And when those are offered to me free, in my head, all of a sudden, I'm like, okay, so These are like snacks if I have to go to a kid's soccer game.
The twins have soccer in an hour and I haven't made breakfast yet. Okay, that's okay. We'll just shoot back a couple hockey pucks of peanut butter on the ride there. I always keep hockey pucks of peanut butter in my van.
Hockey pucks of peanut butter. I mean, yeah,
that's
great
cute.
To have. Mm-hmm.
Do you do it boldly or do you wait until you don't have the watchful eye of the?
Well, that's what I was saying. I do it in steps. I do a normal portion, but I do it several times.
Just hoping they're not tracking how many times your plate is returned.
Exactly. Or here's a fun little hack for people that want to be more like me. Aside from turning your toilet paper upside down, if you do want to steal stuff from a continental breakfast, just use a second plate and cover everything that you're stealing. Like I'm trying to keep it fresh. Like if it's like a paper plate, I could put 5 peanut butters in there, put another plate on top of it. Nobody knows what I'm doing.
But then you're like leaving the premises holding a plate.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking of a buffet where you're like paying a set price.
Oh, when I'm at these things, whatever meal I make, I usually take it up to my room because I usually am traveling alone.
You don't want to mingle with the other diners?
Just hang
Possibly a man ready to have an affair.
No, I'm not cracking any nuts on that trip.
Smooth only.
Yeah.
The new NBA and MLB season is in full swing, and BetOnline has you covered with the best odds and biggest promotions and live in-game betting on all your favorite teams. Head to BetOnline today to stay updated on all the action. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Well, let's get into the history of Smucker because, it's an old one.
I'm going to guess Smuckers jams probably started, if I had to guess, I would guess 1847.
It was a little bit after that, and I don't remember. It feels firmly clip-clop.
Oh, okay.
I think we're in clip-clop times.
Yeah.
And I don't know the window or the time frame or that, but we're clip-clopping.
I feel like in your world, clip-clop time kind of probably extended longer than it actually did.
I think it went clip-clop straight into 60s Mad Men, and there was nothing in between.
That's what I think is going on in your head.
For sure. I'm ready to go back to clip-clop time, honestly. I see one Cybertruck, and I'm like, get me back to clip-clop time.
Babe, just go to Burbank. They're clip-clopping all around there. I was at the cafe in Atwater where we are now, and the 2 clip-clops went by in front of the cafe. We live close to an equestrian center.
Horses passed by a cafe?
Yeah, it was so cute. I went out and they let me pet them.
Oh, did you feed him a carrot?
No, I didn't have any food, but I get very scared petting horses because they can chomp your fingers off. You have to keep your fingers very tight together and curve your fingers down.
I mean, I don't think they chomp your fingers off.
Yeah, if you're feeding them, they'll chomp your fingers off.
Chomp your fingers off? Horses' teeth are like big flat corks.
Yeah, and they'll chop your fingers off.
I need to get on a horse with you. I think that'd be really fun. You and me, side saddle on a horse.
I honestly don't think I could do it. It's one of the things I'm incredibly scared of.
Okay, well, we'll work through it. I'll have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and you go on a horse.
I like that when our pod is going to branch out into us just doing adventurous things.
Yeah, we have a travel show on True TV.
I'm down.
So Jerome Monroe Smucker.
J.M. Smuckers is what's on the label, okay?
It's on the label. He was born in Wayne County, Ohio.
Beautiful.
Ohio is the birthplace of so many brands. What is in the water there?
Jam, air flight, everything in
Air
between.
flight.
Flights, planes, the Wright brothers.
Air flight.
Air flight.
He was born into a family of Mennonite farmers. So Jerome descended from immigrants who left Switzerland named Schumacher in the 1750s. It was later spelled Smoker for about 2 generations before they got uncomfortable with the name suggesting tobacco use. So then they just took to spelling the name Smucker. So it was kind of like a made-up spelling of the Swiss name. So Jerome spends much of his life as a farmer in Orville. He built his family business to 4 farms in a creamery while spending his evenings tutoring his neighbors in good penmanship.
Creamery.
Sign me up.
You know about that.
It's funny that he tutored his neighbors in penmanship because his signature is on every jar.
It is a very old-timey signature, right? It's kind of like calligraphy.
It is, yeah. I love that. So with hard work and an education from a business school, by the time he's 39, he takes his chances on opening a cider mill in 1897. He uses cider apples from local apple trees planted by Johnny Appleseed.
Wait, is Johnny Appleseed real?
My next line is, was Johnny Appleseed real?
You have to. This is how you go down rabbit holes.
I have a game for you.
Okay.
American folklore has many larger-than-life heroes. See if you can name which ones are real. Here's a fun quiz.
Okay.
Johnny Appleseed, the outdoorsman who is said to have traveled on foot across the United States planting apple trees.
Real.
Real. Paul Bunyan, a giant lumberjack known for his immense size and strength.
Bullshit.
Bullshit. Pecos Bill, a cowboy who rode a tornado and tamed a wild jackrabbit.
Rode a tornado?
Hey, it's folklore, baby.
Is sometime the person real but the story not? Because if I have to base it on ride a tornado, that is bullshit.
You have two answers. Is that your final answer?
Yes.
You don't want to phone a friend? I love saying phone a friend like that's a recent reference off that from like 40 years
People are like, Mom, why did she say phone a friend? Man, I have been catching old episodes of Do You Want to Be a Millionaire on Game Show Network.
Regis era?
Yes, and it's just like, different time.
Don't you miss the entire nation being captivated by one thing?
Yeah, when apparently all the television we watched was blurry. You couldn't see anything crisp. And Regis, he brought the monochrome silk ties to the nation.
I remember he had a line at Macy's of the tie that matches the shirt.
Oh, and then you finally got that cocky little asshole who finally won the $1 million. But it is, still get goosebumps from it. It was so, do you remember this moment? Oh my God. Do you remember, Al? So this guy, he gets all the way to the last question and he still why am I tearing up? This guy was like a jerk. He gets all the way to the last question, and he still has his phone a friend. So they ask him, I think it was what is the distance of the sun from the earth? And he's like, I'd like to use my phone a friend. And Regis is like, okay, who do you want to call? So he calls his dad, and his dad answers the phone. And he's like, hey, how can I help you? He's like, oh, I don't need any help. I was just calling to let you know I'm about to win $1 million. Because the sun is 92 million miles away from the earth. I'm covered in goosebumps. It was like, you couldn't script that better.
Amazing.
But I still call bullshit on the tornado writer.
You are right.
Okay.
Pecos Bill was not a cowboy who rode a tornado. Davy Crockett, a frontiersman and folk hero who died at the Alamo.
Truth.
Real, you're right. The Jersey Devil, a mythical creature said to inhabit the Pine Barrens of New Jersey.
Is the mythical creature real?
You have two options.
I'm going to say no.
You are right. Sleepy Hollow's Headless Horseman, a ghostly figure from Washington Irving's tale who rides around searching for his lost head. Is he real or not real?
Just to be as iconic as the guy on the game show, I'll say he's real.
You are wrong.
No, there wasn't a guy without a head riding around looking for his head.
Mothman, a creature reported in West Virginia with glowing red eyes and large wings.
You're going to be like Smurfette, the only female that lived in a tribe of men.
Well, some cultures do acknowledge Smurfette, though the legend has changed over time. It was originally based on a medicine woman.
It felt a little problematic to have this one beautiful woman living in this village of men.
She was stunning, that flower in her hair.
Especially with Hefty running around.
You don't trust him?
No, she can only be around Vanity, her gay bestie.
Was Mothman real?
No.
Bigfoot. A legendary ape-like creature rumored to roam the forests of North America. This is the last one, John, your last chance.
I've seen tons of pictures of him, and I know that he's still not real.
Despite seeing evidence, you choose to believe he's not real. Okay, that tells us all we need to know about you. Johnny Appleseed, or John Chapman, was a real person, although some aspects of his life have been mythologized over time.
I think that's the case with even George Washington. Aren't they saying that his teeth weren't really bones?
Sure, they always change it.
Okay.
I need to go to a Johnny Appleseed museum. Stat.
Yeah, I would like to. Man, Vermont. I have never been to Vermont in the fall.
Babe.
Bucket
Have
list.
to go.
I have to go.
There's no place like it on earth.
Yeah.
Unreal. So he was born in Massachusetts in 1774. Little is known about his early life except his mother died when he was young. His father fought in the American Revolutionary War. He planted his first apple tree nurseries in Pennsylvania around 1798, and then he began traveling west through Ohio, planting as he went, walking for miles every day and sleeping outdoors.
It was the 1700s.
Sure, yeah. He kept ahead of the pioneers. He had a knack for predicting where they would settle and planting apple trees in those spots. I'm laughing because as I'm reading about Johnny Appleseed, he is a strange man.
I'm thinking of the time, like, it would have been easy for everyone to, like, explore the country, but Johnny Appleseed was 20 years ahead of them, like, causing, like, roadblocks on these trees. So they, like, plants them all, and they're having to cut them down as they...
He was an agent of chaos.
Yeah.
The apple trees that he planted produced cider apples, which were not the kind of apples you eat. Cider apples are small and gross, but they can be used to produce hard cider, an alcoholic beverage that was a staple of the American diet, especially for pioneers who didn't always have access to clean drinking water. So instead of like drinking water, everyone was just guzzling. I mean, are you washing your babies in cider? I don't know what people were doing back then.
I'm straight edge, so I don't benefit at all from Johnny Appleseed's plantings.
I mean, if he were amaretto sour trees, you'd be down.
Why couldn't he just plant a variety of apples? Why do they all have to be the ugly, gross apples?
They all had to be gross.
There's so many apples. I do love this. I have seen videos of people. I don't know why we don't still do this. I feel like the government should just give everyone seeds so we can just always be throwing them around.
Yeah.
I've seen videos of people that like live in like urban areas and they'll just like throw seeds like where there's sidewalks, where there's like dirt and stuff, like mixed flower seeds. And over the year, they'll see like just all these beautiful flowers popping up. Like I love it in theory.
Are you Johnny Appleseed?
Let's just say we were born the same year.
So within his lifetime, oral accounts of his tree planting began to circulate. Most of these focused on his wilderness skills, his remarkable physical endurance. I mean, he's walking for days at a time. He was also memorable for his eccentric clothing. Instead of a shirt... What are you picturing?
The Fruit of the Loom guy.
Wait, the apple?
Just that big apple.
Wearing like underwear?
That's just what he's wearing. He's just dressed like a giant apple.
I mean, mythology, it could be true.
You never know.
I heard he's a big apple and he wears tighty-whitey underwear.
What did he wear? Like something that had a lot of pockets for all the seeds?
Instead of a shirt, he usually wore a sack with holes for his head and arms cut out.
What?
And on his feet were either worn-out shoes or no shoes at all. True to his nickname, he carried a bag of apple seeds. If you saw this guy walking on one side of the road, let's just say you'd walk on the other side.
I feel like this has been embellished over time.
No,
this sounds like
this
Mark
is true.
Twain.
He was a devout follower of the mystical teachings of the Swedish theologian Emanuel Swedenborg, and he would distribute his writings and pamphlets as he traveled and interacted with all these rugged pioneers. So he was kind of like spreading his cult, I guess.
His seed.
He was spreading his seed in more ways than one. Part of his religion was treating all animals with kindness, even mosquitoes and rattlesnakes, which at the time seemed very unusual.
Now that would be unusual.
I
Nobody
agree.
cares. I think it's been proven that mosquitoes provide nothing good on the planet.
I killed them with glee.
With glee. I have a zapper in my bedroom because they somehow get into my bedroom. I zapped one the other night.
You laying in bed, shoes, jeans, swatting at mosquitoes.
Kind of, yeah. Like I'll see just their tiny little silhouette like go through the TV light and I get off the zapper.
Do you say anything when you get a mosquito like, gotcha?
No.
No? Silent?
I mean, I live alone.
You're worried about your upstairs neighbor.
I don't want Alexa recording that. What was the last thing he said, officer?
Oh,
Gotcha.
man. Gotcha. Chapman died at the age of 71 in Fort Wayne, Indiana in 1845, having planted apple trees as far west as Illinois or Iowa. He would grow into a folk hero, with legend extending his apple planting all the way to California. So that's kind of where the legend plays in. It's like he didn't traverse the entire continental U.S. planting apples. It was this area that extended to about Iowa.
Apples are a fascinating fruit, I gotta say. I was reading an article about apples last year, I think. There was some new apple that was supposed to be coming out. I don't remember if it was the Cosmic Crisp.
Cosmic Crisp is out.
I know.
It's a hell of an apple.
But I just didn't know how much research went into.
I feel like you can like go to college and like major in apples.
Yeah, but they treat it like they're creating like a celebrity. Like hundreds of millions of dollars of research goes into it. They're combining like the Honey Crisp
PR
apple.
nightmare when Cosmic Crisp comes out with a sex tape. How are we going to bounce back from this one, boys?
I'm telling you, that worm just went inside of me. I don't know anything about it. But yeah, it was fascinating. I mean, I'm sure all food is like that now.
Yeah, but I think, actually, because you were saying, why didn't he just plant regular apple trees from seed? I think I read that apples maybe it's different now, but they're like a rare fruit that has to be like cloned. Like if you just took an apple seed from a Cosmic Crisp and planted it in your yard, you would not get like Cosmic Crisp apples.
Well, and if you look at like fruit annuals of that time, like fruits back then versus now are so different. Like you look at a watermelon and they cut it open, there's like 1 inch of like edible flesh.
Yes.
And now it's like, because of people like Burpee, thank you, Mr. Chicken Burpee.
Thank you.
That now we have these things that we have.
Except for people who haven't heard Burpee, they're like, what are you saying?
Man, listen, we're trained. If you don't know, you got to pick your stops.
Get with it. Get with it.
Listen to the episode of Burpee and you'll know what we're talking about.
Back to Smucker.
Oh, yeah. Smuckers.
You thought
Thought this was
on
about apples.
So, despite Mennonites' aversion to then modern mechanics, Smucker created and used machinery that pressed apples and produced cider as well as vinegar with outstanding results. He used steam-powered presses, which helped retain the cider's flavor, and gave Smucker's mill a strong reputation. Eventually, his ciders became more popular than the creamery's dairy products. Wow. I mean, what a big surprise. Booze is more popular than milk.
I mean, I'd rather have cream than cider. You love cider. You've been saying that you want to make apple cider donuts. I feel like
Yes.
you're very much of the, let's take the kids to the orchard and pick our own fresh apples.
Oh, baby. I mean, Vermont, we went leaf peeping in, I think, like 2017.
Peeping?
We went leaf peeping around in 2017. We did a little tour of the leaves. They call it leaf peeping.
I've never heard that.
You've never heard the term leaf peeping?
No, it's like
Now that I mentioned it, I don't think I had heard of the term until I started like Googling leaf peeping.
until you became a peeper.
I'm a big peeper now. I'm telling you, once you peep, you don't stop.
You can't stop.
You can't stop. And there are just stunning orchards where you go and you get apple cider, you get apples, you get a hunk of Vermont cheddar, you get apple cider donuts. So that is my fall resolution, is to perfect an apple cider donut, an orchard style apple cider donut. That's my mission.
Well, I'm looking forward to it.
You're going to be in on it right beside me, baby. The problem with the apple cider mill is that it leaves behind a lot of apple mush as a byproduct, but Smucker realized he could round out his seasonal business by using the mush to make apple butter using a family recipe. He sealed vats of his apple butter in half-gallon stone crocks, and each crock was tagged with Smucker's handwritten name as a seal of quality.
Fantastic.
That same signature that is on a jar of jam today. Jerome Smucker and his son Willard began traveling through Ohio in 1900. The two sold Smucker's apple butter spread from the back of a horse-drawn wagon.
Clip.
Clop.
Man, what a time to be alive.
Can you imagine like the clip clops coming up your steps and then like a man, a Smucker and son, knocking on your door peddling their butter?
That's like the precursor to the ice cream truck that goes by.
Yeah.
Just the clip clop and apple butter.
You know how sometimes like a figure will be in an article, they'll say, oh, they sold this much money, and you don't know if they've already accounted for inflation?
Yeah.
So by 1915, so this is like 15 years into the apple butter business,
Okay.
the Smuckers had sold close to $60,000 or $1.87 million.
Wow.
Is that possible?
Yeah.
For like a 10-cent jar of apple butter?
That does seem like a long way to get there, but
It does.
yeah.
I guess so.
guess. I mean, if it says it, wait, what is your source?
I mean, it's a book.
Oh.
It's a book.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's a book.
Is it a
Books aren't
book?
allowed to lie.
Okay.
It's a book. Pushing Jerome to officially create the J.M. Smucker Company 6 years later. By 1923, apple butter sales were so good, Jerome decided to expand his line to other preserves. After introducing the glass jar in 1939, annual sales reached 1 million.
Which today, if 60,000 is $1.5 million, 1 million is like a trillion.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Great margins.
Smucker's products became nationally popular through the 40s and 50s, pushing the company to explore a variety of other condiments, including ice cream toppings. I gotta say, I'm always seeing Smucker's like strawberry ice cream topping, hot fudge, and caramel, and I totally forgot that was connected.
Yeah, they have the whole thing and at the end cap of the ice cream.
Absolutely.
My first 3 jobs were in ice cream, so I'm familiar with that. And talk about such a pain. Like, I liked working in ice cream. I love dipping the cones and making the shell.
Sure.
But the one one thing, and maybe I've talked about this before. If I have, please stop me. The banana split. The banana split. I mean, who came up with that thing? It's like you have to get a boat. You have to make 3 piles of ice cream. Each one gets its own topping. Cut a banana in half. Each side gets that. Then you got nuts, a whipped cream, and a cherry. It's like, come on, guys. I'm 14. Like, what do you want from me? It was so much.
Yeah, who invented that? That must have been somebody who really was trying to avoid his family. He was like, I am selling ice cream way into the night. It's like, what is taking so long? You scoop, you serve. It's like, I have 3 flavors. I got nuts. Isn't there like strawberry on one flavor, chocolate on another one?
You're going to get the last one wrong.
Pineapple.
Pineapple, you got it right.
I don't even think I've ever had a classic banana split like that, but that is, I think it might be a little too much.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a little too much. They made an old-fashioned sweet tomato ketchup. They continue to manufacture fancy ketchups today. An attempt at Smuckers pickles launched in '66, but sales weren't successful. I don't know how they could screw up a pickle. But the company sold off its brined wing in the 1980s. That's how it was worded. Isn't that great?
That's funny.
Imagine those meetings where they're like, I know we've been avoiding this.
If you say that word one more time,
we have to sell off the brined wing.
just get rid of it cheap and fast.
In the mid-60s, they introduced peanut butter to go along with the jellies, and soon after that, the company began offering peanut butter and jelly swirled within one container called Goober, marketed as a sandwich in a jar. Goober was very loosely based on my research, the African word for peanut. Very loosely based.
That feels very loosely based. Goober, I mean, I don't like it. I don't like the man telling me my ratios.
Oh, for sure.
And Goober's all about, here's the ratio, live with it.
You better like 50-50.
Yeah, and I like 80-20. So I'm going to be like digging in. I'm going to be going in like spelunking into the jam, trying to scoop that out without getting all the peanut butter.
I feel bad for your roommate because they're getting all jelly.
I do feel bad. No. Nah.
You feel bad for your roommate?
I had a college roommate I did feel bad for.
Why? What'd you do
I
to
just
him?
wasn't a great roommate.
I was a bad roommate too. I ate all of my roommate's pudding.
What?
I had a roommate and he would get this fancy pudding from Whole Foods and I would just eat it in the night.
That's awful. Even I wouldn't. I mean, I would probably do one. I do try to play they'll think they ate that one.
I will leave one. I wouldn't eat I wouldn't clear it out. But I was definitely outpacing him at the rate that I ate it.
Oh my gosh.
And you know what was so good? A little container of chocolate pudding with a spoonful of peanut butter swirled in.
Okay.
That was really yummy.
I could see that.
What did you do as a bad roommate?
Well, it wasn't really it wasn't my fault. I only lived with this guy for a very short time because I had gotten out of another situation. I was living with these two crazy jock guys in the dorm. And I was just so uncomfortable around them.
Uh-huh.
And one time they had gone
Did you keep pretending to drop your pen, bending over to get it?
I'm not going to say I didn't think about them inappropriately. I mean, it was college and we're all everyone's half nude all the time.
I think you get a pass for thinking about your jock college roommates inappropriately.
Yeah. And there was one time when they had been out of town for the weekend and I snuck to their side of the room and used their stereo and I got really bold. I thought they were going to come home later in the day. And I was basically in my underwear. It was a risky business moment.
You were dancing to Cyndi Lauper in your underwear?
Blaring it. And I didn't hear them come in and I'm do the classic turn around and they're both standing there and I could die. Because I was an insecure gay boy who wasn't out at the time.
Were you singing into a hairbrush?
Probably. And then so I was I got to get out of here. So then I moved in with this other guy who had a room by himself and I convinced him.
Oh no.
I was can I just be your roommate?
Never give up a room by yourself.
I know, that poor guy. And he was a math nerd and had a poster of a Lamborghini. He was that guy.
Yeah.
And I was coming off of my vampire stage, going into the Warhol stage, which we've talked about. And I had these thrift store shoes, and I've never, ever in my life had a foot odor problem until I have these thrift store shoes. They were plastic shoes, basically, that did not breathe at all.
I know what you mean.
And I moved into his place, and I would take off my shoes, and I would be laying. And we had bunk beds.
Oh, no.
He's on the bottom bunk. I'm on the top bunk, and I'd be laying there, and I could smell them myself.
The scent has wafted north 6 feet, and he hits near his head.
Yes.
Scents rise.
Yeah, I know. So my shoes are on the floor. He's getting those wavy stink lines coming up on his bed. I'm laying above him oh my God, I smell myself. I'm so disgusting. And eventually, luckily, I was able to move out of there and get my own single. But, oh my gosh, I felt so bad for him.
Do you think he's telling like the inverse of this story on his own podcast right now?
Probably. I think his name was Wayne. Wayne, if you're listening, I'm sorry. I was a kid. I didn't know what I was doing.
We forgive you.
I got rid of those shoes. And I hope you got that Lamborghini.
He's listening to this cruising down PCH in his Lamborghini right now.
Honestly, nothing would make me happier than Wayne having his Lamborghini.
In 1981, Timothy Smucker is now named president. So this is like a multi-generational family. The nepotism is very strong in the Smucker family. If you're
I don't really see companies like this. I don't consider it nepotism.
If you're lucky enough to be born a Smucker, let's just say you're set for life. I could see you as a Mr. Smucker.
I have often dreamed of being an heir. Can you imagine just any iconic last name?
I love it still being Smucker too. I mean, that's just so.
Smucker's a great one.
That's a really good one
Hershey.
because you'd be kind of like shy. It's like, wait, Tim Smucker, not like the jam, right?
No, and you don't tell them until your honeymoon night. You want to make sure that they really loved you, and then you just throw a big handful of jelly on them.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I am that Smucker.
While you're trying to like at the hotel of your honeymoon, trying to like smuggle the free jam in your bag. It's
oh my
like,
god, how
honey.
great would that be? I'm straight in this scenario. She's trying to steal all the jam, and I'm like, honey, you don't have to steal jam anymore. And I show her the deed to the Smucker factory.
Which you carry on your person. So it's 1981, Timothy Smucker, he's the new president. Now it's just acquisitions of other smaller jam companies. By the mid-1980s, Smuckers has over 25% of the market in the U.S. By 2004, the company is still headquartered in Orrville, Ohio. It's been family-run now for 4 generations. Over 10 years, the company is on Fortune magazine's annual listing of the 100 best companies to work for in the United States, even ranking number 1 in 2004.
Wow.
So a fun place to work. I'm sure they're just having jam fights and jam tastings.
That's one sticky place to work.
I bet it smells great.
Man, I bet it does in like the boiling rooms.
Yeah, with a big long spoon over a big vat of jam.
They probably have some like tester straw or something. They always have to be testing it, making sure they have it right.
They have one of those like signs that's like 0 days since the last accident where like someone fell into the vat of jam.
That's the only accident they ever have, but they have it about twice a month. Someone falls into the vat of jam and dies.
Happening. Sure, they could figure out a different way to do the stirring, but no.
I wonder if they do tours.
They don't do tours. I actually have an answer for you. They don't.
That sucks.
But they do have like, something you can experience if you visit the factory, but you cannot do a tour.
Something you can experience.
Yeah, like, a gift shop, like a little behind the scenes glimmer, but
something you can experience.
It's something you can experience.
Very ominous.
Get a little closer to that vat of jam, John.
That's
Peek
like
way deep inside.
Yeah, that's like if I worked there. Hey, well, come into my office. I have something you can experience.
So after this point, it's just more acquisitions. I mean, it's just this kind of like acquisition hell that we see from these big companies. You've got Magic Shell. You've got a couple pickle companies. They're back in the brine biz.
They got back in brine?
They got back in brine.
Wow.
Uncrustables, Jif, Crisco, Pillsbury, Knott's Berry Farm, brand products, Carnation Milk, Folgers Coffee, Milk-Bone Meow Mix, Kibbles and Bits, Pepperoni, to name a few.
Those are all under the Smuckers umbrella?
They are.
Wow.
They are.
That's I feel like the last 30 years have been about consolidation with all these companies. It's
Crazy.
Like, how big can you make your portfolio?
Well, according to the FTC, there's a limit for how too big. In early March of 2018, ConAgra Brands and JM Smucker had to cancel a deal for Smucker to purchase the Wesson cooking oil brand, and the FTC claimed that Smuckers would have controlled at least 70% of the market for branded canola and vegetable oils, and that's not okay.
It's not. I mean, I am a big supporter of making sure monopolies don't happen.
Absolutely.
I don't know. We're like, there's one that is trying to happen right now that would affect LA so bad.
What?
Kroger is trying to merge with Albertsons and Bonds.
Wow.
And Kroger is Ralph. So
Next
if that
thing
were
you
to
know,
happen,
your Smuckers is like $40.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I
There's
agree.
no competition. Almost all of our main grocery stores would be Kroger
You should work at the FTC.
or Kroger.
It will probably eventually be
I'll end up at
Kroger,
Kroger.
in 3 years. So now they're just trying to focus on their sectors, which is pet food, coffee, and snacking. Those are like pretty much all their categories. In 2020, the company announced a new logo and corporate brand identity. I'm sure that was a fun series of meetings to figure out what the new corporate brand identity would be. They wanted to distinguish Smucker, the company, from the Smuckers brand food items. So there's the Smucker jams and the strawberry sauce, and then there's like Smucker, the like corporation.
Tell me that the jam one still has like the cute like signature.
It does, yes.
So what does the corporation one look like?
It's just more generic. It's like a simple font and then like layered like colors. It looks kind of almost like a hospital.
I mean, that's a risky business. I mean, I'm super fascinated about iconic brands like changing logos and stuff.
I love that classic Smucker logo. I love it.
It kind of gives me the Advent calendar brand. They kind of have a handwritten thing too. I never know how to say their name. Bon something.
Bon Memo.
Bon Memo.
Al speaks French, and he's single. And he said Bon Maman.
And he eats all his jam, if you know what I mean.
That's right.
Bon Memo.
So the JM Smucker companies, their revenue for 2023 was approximately $2.2 billion. Their flagship brand of jams and jellies is still a beloved favorite, including their apple butter. Not bad for a humble Mennonite farmer and a sack of free apples.
When I leave here tonight and go to Vons to get my free Mountain Dew Voodoo soft drink, I'm going to look in the jam aisle because I don't know if I've just blocked out seeing apple butter. I don't feel like I've seen apple butter in a store for 30 years.
Well, let me tell you something about the apple butter. I went to Vons tonight to get the apple butter and another one to try.
You could have picked up my Mountain Dew.
I could have, but I didn't have the coupon. I'm not paying out of pocket for you to get a strange dew.
It's digital.
So the apple butter was not on the shelf at Vons.
You have to ask a man. You have to go through those like swinging doors in the back.
It's with the cigarettes. No, they didn't have it at Vons. I had to have it Instacarted from Stater Brothers.
That sounds right.
So we're digging into the goober and the Smucker's apple butter. And Alistair was a little surprised at the look of the apple butter. Did I not explain what apple butter is? It is just applesauce that is cooked down until it is so concentrated that it has like a texture similar to jam. So there's not actually any butter in any apple butter. Let me give it a taste.
There's a place in Cincinnati I go to called Jungle Gems that I've mentioned before on the pod, and they have a whole line of like Jungle Gem jams and sauces and stuff, and they do a bunch of different butters. They do like sweet potato butter and pumpkin butter and apple butter. Yeah.
You can butter a sweet potato?
Yeah.
Yummy. Al's into it. What do you think? What are your thoughts?
So the goobers with the cracker, it kind of just gets lost in it. Like I couldn't really tell. I wouldn't be able to differentiate if that was a good peanut butter and jelly or not.
Okay.
So I'm not.
Because it's a lot. It's super sweet.
Yeah. I don't have anything against it. That apple butter doesn't taste like my apple butter of childhood. I need to figure out what that was. I don't feel like it was Smuckers. I feel like it was like its own brand or something. Maybe, I don't know. I doubt it was local because we wouldn't have bought local, but I need to figure it out because this almost tastes like apple jam. And I feel like the apple butter I'm thinking of has like a much, I don't know, a more complex flavor.
Interesting.
Or maybe I'm just remembering it wrong.
Yeah, sometimes memory can kind of cast a glow on it.
Yeah, and we didn't eat it on crackers, so maybe that was it. I think we always ate it on toast.
Yeah, this was just kind of meant to be a vehicle for the butter. Would you eat it with butter, or would you have it just by itself?
I eat everything with butter. I eat like toasted butter with jam, toasted butter with apple butter. I got to figure out what it was that we had because I feel like it was, and this could also be a time thing too. I feel like it was a much larger jar, and I know a lot of things have gotten smaller over time, but I never associated it with Smuckers, and I'm such a brand guy. Like I feel like I would have, so I'll have to see if I can figure out what that is.
Yeah, call your siblings, see what apple butter was in the house.
I'm sure everyone listening is like, God, do you think John figured it out? I hope he updates us either on Instagram. I keep refreshing the Instagram, and he hasn't commented on it.
It's fun to end on a mysterious note, though.
Especially because it's almost Halloween.
Took a very spooky turn.
Nothing scarier than not knowing a childhood memory.
John, to close it out, can you name the top jam flavor in America?
Here is the top jam flavor. Strawberry, of course.
It is strawberry.
Yeah, of course.
Second is grape.
Now, I was going to say I was a grape baby. I loved grape for peanut butter and jelly was also Now I would do strawberry for peanut butter and jelly, but man, grape had its moment in my life.
That was the goober that we had tonight, was peanut butter and grape jelly. Yeah, it's never my go-to. I'm a strawberry or a berry gal. But that's it for Smuckers. So, John, I will say, we went on a journey today from clip-clop times all the way to the corporate boardroom for a merger.
A shoeless vagabond throwing his seed literally and figuratively all around the country.
That's right. So after everything you've heard that you've tasted today, is Smuckers on brand for you?
I am going to say with the utmost confidence that it is on brand for me. I love that it's listed in one of the best companies to work for, even if it's not still. I don't love that it's just another big corporate goon with cat foods and tampons and all the things that everything. But you got to do that to survive these days. So I understand it. I love it for its roots. I love it for its jam. So yes, it is on brand for me. And I like, wait, I was about to say, and I like it because I like Johnny Appleseed, but he wasn't actually part of the story. He's just a guy. But yeah, it is for me.
Johnny Appleseed is on brand for me.
And if you couldn't have a better leader than Mr. Johnny Appleseed.
I could see you like, Johnny Appleseed is like, can I give you a pamphlet about my weird religion? And you're like, yeah, sure, tell me all about it. And then now you and him are sitting on a rock, you're drinking cider, he's wearing his little sack with his little head hole cut out.
Dirty feet.
Dirty feet.
I'm just reading the pamphlet.
Pamphlet.
I was saying that to myself last night. I was like, what is so weird about that? It's a pamphlet. What about you, Marissa? You picked it, you ate it, you love it. I'm assuming it's on brand for you. Did the research change your mind?
It's funny because these two jars like represent exactly like what I love about it and what I don't love. I love anything that feels old-timey, reminiscent of the past, a simpler time, old-fashioned stuff. And that this apple butter jar is that. And then I'm holding in my other hand goober grape. I don't know. It's too cartoony, in your face, overly like made in a lab, made by a team. I don't know. This isn't my favorite era of Smucker. So I will say clip clop era is on brand for me. I want to hear the clip clops up my steps. I want the father and son shilling their wares. Modern day, the new corporate logo, we could work on it. There's room to grow.
Wow, you're really putting a lot of thought into this. You know that there are no longer any clips or clops.
And I weep every day because of it.
I bet everyone that is the brass at Smuckers drives running a Lamborghini. Wayne probably is running Smuckers right now.
Oh, I believe it. That's where he ended up.
Well, very good. I loved learning about a new brand. I will say, as much as I hate Goober, that is one that I would like to see be manufactured. I think when we log off the pod tonight, we're going to YouTube how Goober's made.
Oh, definitely.
I'd love to see that stuff just get squirted into a bottle.
I bet you would. And before we go, I'd like to give a shout out to a friend, a freak, a Brandy, who gave us a lovely 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Mike is a listener, said, great podcast with interesting info. Fun and entertaining podcast that has great info too. Love it.
Oh,
so sweet. So if you haven't left us a review on Apple Podcasts, we invite you to go over there, give us a 5-star review, write some nice words, and we will definitely give you a shout out on an episode.
And just so you know, we are recording a handful of episodes in advance because Alistair's decided to travel the world, and we want to get these all edited and done before he goes so he can enjoy himself. So for 2 or 3 weeks, I won't be able to do our podcast shout outs for the Insta eggs, but I will still be doing Insta eggs, and I will be doing the shout outs on our social media, probably just on our Instagram. So continue to play the game. I'll do the Wheel of Freaks, and I'll give you a shout out on our story.
Speaking of Instagram, follow us on Instagram at OnBrandThePod and TikTok at OnBrandThePodcast. You can see John's Insta Egg game. You can see videos from the show and chat with us there. We love to hear from you guys. If you have any thoughts on apple butter or Smuckers or Johnny Appleseed or Goober, are you such a freak that when you get a jar of Goober, you stir it up with a big fork and mix it all together and then...
Oh my God, someone must do that. That's like someone's weird, like simple fetish.
Uh-huh. And then whatever you do with that jar of Goober, that's for the Patreon.
And then they take it. Yeah, save it for the Patreon.
All right, we'll be back next week with an all-new episode.
And remember, we may go off topic, but we will always be on brand.
Bye.
Bye.
Are you looking for a new job or want a career change? Look no further than Monster.com. Need a little help standing out? Our expert resume writing services will make sure you shine. Want to brush up on your interview skills? Engage with our AI interview prep tool. Want some advice on negotiating your new salary? Visit our salary tools and extensive library of career advice articles, and you'll have all the tips and tricks you'll need to succeed. Visit Monster.com today and take the first step towards your career. Monster.com. Find your right job fit.